course. Gio, thank you so much for agreeing to come on. I got something to say. For those of you who don't know, this is Gio Johnson, the actor. This is one of my brothers, y'all. I trust this man. So Gio, just a little bit about your background with dating. Can you give us a little bit of what you've experienced?
So for me, I'm one of those people that's very, now we'll say this, I'm very careful on dating. My first, I don't even know if we consider them real relationships in high school. My first relationship was 16. Well, no, 13. But that was short. It was short. But that was the first person I called my girlfriend. First young lady. The first real one I would say where we were actually going out and dating, and I'm spending money on her, and we're, in a relationship with 16. And at that age, you're not really, you're kids. You're just doing stuff. You're with somebody. And so outside of that one, the next serious relationship I got into when I was in my 20s was long distance.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was also with somebody that was in the industry. So, and I mean, well known in the industry. It still is. I'm not dropping names, y'all, so I'm
Please don't.
Drop names. But the thing with that one was we literally became best friends. We were best friends for a year before we started dating.
Uh-huh.
And the biggest thing for us really was the distance. And the next relationship I got into after that, I was so heartbroken over that relationship, I just jumped in to another relationship to try and fill the void. And it turned out this girl was crazy. So that's kind of my history with it, with dating. Now I'm very much more intentional.
Okay.
With getting to know someone like the young lady I'm talking to right now. We've said to each other, let's build the friendship first. We know that we're interested in each other. We know that we like each other based off the very just standard and basic things. But let's actually get to know each other and see, is there a friendship here? And then beyond the friendship, do we work in a relationship? Because all those things matter.
Okay. So when you say, going back to the relationship with the young lady that was crazy, I know most men say that. Like, what are some behaviors that would cause you to label a woman as crazy? Because, some women have some things that they do that I'd be like, that's a little bit extreme. But from a man's perspective, what would cause you to label a woman as crazy?
So the first few things I would just say she was just emotional. We all have our emotional moments, men and women. As much as men don't like to admit it, we have our emotional triggers as well. For her, it was she had some insecurities, and they showed very heavily. And so she would express them through questioning or doubting me about female friends or the way that I talk to other people. And with me being in the industry, sometimes there are events that I can't bring a +1 to, or there are trips that I would take and things like that. And it would be very heavy on why can't I come? Or what are you doing? Or, and weird things would happen. So the ex right before her, she lived in LA. So when I went to LA for Grammy weekend, all of a sudden, the current girlfriend at that time was asking questions about my ex. And while I was out there, all of a sudden, this page pops up with the pictures of me and my ex. It's named after me and my ex. It was Gio and my ex's name. See, y'all thought I was gonna slip up. And was slowly posting these pictures of me and my ex. And mind you, the page was only following me and my ex. So I just kind of ignored that. I was like, okay, this is weird. But then the next day, I got a screenshot from the current girl I was dating asking me about the page. The page had no followers and was only following me and my ex. So how did she find the page? And then when I asked her how she knew about the page, she said, that's not important. Why didn't you tell me about it? And I was like, you did this. And I tried to like dismiss that. It's like, okay, maybe you just, but like little things like that, I was like, okay, this is past emotional. Now this is, you know, I've seen this movie before on Lifetime. It does not end well, you know. And so eventually when we broke up, it turned into, I don't want to say semi-stalking, like not full-blown stalking, but like showing up at my house at midnight, asking, you know, for me to come outside and talk. And I'm like, no. Or popping up at my house and saying, oh, I just had to use the bathroom. And I was like, you couldn't have went to Walmart?
During that time, everything was open. You could use the washroom at like a McDonald's.
Right. Or go home. Like it was like, it would be like 7 o'clock at night. I was like, there's still stuff open, you know? She was like, oh, I was just by your house and I was rushing. Ha ha ha. And I'm like, no. So that's why I said crazy. And I don't use that term loosely because I'm a very big advocate on mental health, but I do think that there were, and that's probably not the best term to use. I should say that she wasn't whole.
Yeah.
She wasn't whole. She wasn't secure. And so when those things happen, you start to do things like that, buying for other people's attention and trying to get certain things from people that I can't give you. Because I can't make somebody whole, and I shouldn't expect anyone to make me whole. I should be a whole person trying to build with another whole person so we can make each other better. But it's not their responsibility to carry my baggage and vice versa.
That's good. That's key. So, so going back to what you said about the importance of building a relationship, because I think a lot of times, a lot of us, especially while we were younger, didn't understand the importance of that. Like getting to know the person that you're thinking about spending the rest of your life with. Like, talk about the importance of that to you now, like versus back then.
The importance of it to me now is that like you will see all the things that you need to see, the red flags or the good things in due time, and you won't, you know, glaze over them because you're so infatuated about how this person looks, or like little things. Like we get attracted to like small things, the body or the money, or we have so much in common. Those things become minimal in the long run. You know, what's their love language? You know, what are they allergic to? Do they like to travel and you don't, or vice versa? You know, are they family oriented? Do they want kids? Do they not want kids? All those things come with you taking your time and really building a understanding of who a person is. And so, like I said, with my ex that was long distance, one thing I learned about her later on, her love language was quality time and physical touch. Those things are kind of hard when you're long distance. So that caused a big rift in her and her desires of what she wants in the relationship, because of course you can't get those things if you're far away. So me not knowing that, or her not even being aware of that about herself, that relationship was bound to go south, because there were things that once she was still learning that she couldn't tell me, and me, I didn't even know what the love language was. So us not knowing to you know, dive deep into those intimate things about people, it leaves room for error every time. Because when you're not able to cater past the surface, once that's gone, once you know, I hate once the honeymoon phase is over,
yeah,
and the deeper parts of people come out, are you going to be able to handle that? Are you going to want to stick around through the storm? Are you going to be there through the good days and the bad days? It's cute when y'all can go take pictures on Instagram and go to STK and, you know, stunt for everybody.
I know, right?
What happens when you really got to, you know, war with this person and you have to help them through the hard times? Are you going to be able to stick that out, you know?
That's so good, Gio. Because I think what a lot of us didn't know is that we need to be vulnerable, because within our community, vulnerability isn't
like a cuss word.
It is. I mean, Black women got to be the strong Black woman. Men are allowed to show emotions. So us being vulnerable in these relationships wasn't a thing.
It wasn't.
Especially if you didn't see your parents do it or your grandparents do it. So it's just like, I'm in love with him. Why? Because he got a house, a car, and this and that. No.
He could provide for me. And so that's it.
That's it. Provide the necessities. But
that runs out.
Then I want a divorce. No, let's work through this. You know?
You're gonna have to figure it out.
Work through it.
My God.
So, coming from your perspective as a man that has been processed and is now whole and looking to find his mate, what was the hardest part of learning about being vulnerable for you?
I think the hardest part was just the trust factor. Because when you're not given those outlets and those places to be vulnerable, when it's time to be vulnerable, it's, can I trust you with the broken parts of me, and that you won't, one, use them against me later in a moment of, hurt or when you're upset, and two, are you going to stick around? Because now it's like, I've given you this access to me, and then, you disappear, or you ghost, or you're gone. People with trust issues, or people who have been dropped a lot or have not had consistency, we tend to put an expiration date on people, and that was one of my faults. I never expected anyone to stay around past a certain amount of time. So whenever, communication or relationships fell off with people, I would kind of just be like, okay, well, that's what it is. And so I had an expectation for that to happen with everyone. And so I never gave them too much. I would give you just enough to be cool, and, we can go kick it, and we here, but we ain't here. Like, hey. But,
yeah, I got you.
So it took me time to, open myself up and start to let people see the dark parts of Gio, and the not so nice, and the guy that's off camera. A lot of people know Gio Johnson, the personality, but Giorgio Johnson is a whole nother ball game. That's my full name for y'all who didn't know. We getting vulnerable up in here today. But yeah, it took a lot for me to give that to people. But once I did, I realized that my relationships were a lot better. Even just like how I felt around people. And now even getting to know somebody in the talking stages. Hey girl, you know who you are. It feels good. It feels good to be able to, build without feeling abrasive, and being, having my guard and my walls up. It's more free. Like, it just feels so much better to not feel like I'm fighting with myself to see, like, where's this gonna go? And that's also like just trusting God. Like, hey, you really have to put trust in him. Like, he knows you better than anybody. And so for me, I don't feel like you have discernment. You're gonna know. You're gonna know who you can give, your story to, and who you can't. And no matter what happens, that you'll be safe. And that just comes from maturity. That comes with prayer. That comes with wisdom. That comes around building with, sisters like you and brothers that I have, and letting them be that safe place. And then you can move to somebody that's, that you're trying to get to know on a new level. But I think you really need to start in those safe places with just friends and build consistently, and then you can go off. It's almost like that. And this is not to get on a tangent, but I say that every level of relationship should have a different level of access. So I do not give a stranger the same access that I give a friend. I do not give a friend the same access that I give a boyfriend or girlfriend. I don't give a boyfriend or girlfriend the same access that I would give to a fiance. And I don't give a fiance the same access that I would give to someone I'm married to. There are certain privileges and access that should come with each level of relationship, and a different level of intimacy as well. Because marriage is the ultimate intimacy. You become one. So if I'm giving you marriage privileges at the boyfriend-girlfriend level, why should I expect anything different at the husband-wife level? I've already given you access and privileges that you and I should not have had access to on both ends. So then when it gets to the marriage level and you're like, well, is this all marriage is supposed to be? Well, yeah, if you then gave up everything prematurely, this is what it's going to look like. So that's my perspective on it.
Thank you so much, Gio. If you could give one piece of advice to my viewers about dating, what would it be?
My one piece of advice about dating is date yourself first. I went through a season of dating myself, learning my likes, my dislikes, what I wanted in a mate, what I would tolerate, what I wouldn't tolerate, what I really wanted out of life. So I knew the right person that would be able to come along to help me be that person. And also within that, understanding my flaws, my insecurities, my imperfections, the things that need to be healed. So if you think you're ready to date, take a look at yourself, really evaluate everything going on with you, and then you'll know. And then once you are ready, you know, check past the pretty face.
Pass it.
Because that's how she ended up on my doorstep at midnight. Like, listen.
Use your bathroom.
We closed.
The bathroom went out for a lunch break. Come back later.
The bathroom has corona. Don't recommend.
No baño here. No.
Oh my gosh, I cannot. No baño. Senor Gio no here. Oh my God. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming on, Gio.
Yeah. If y'all didn't like nothing I said, don't bash me in the comments. I'm sorry.
Don't come for my brother in the comments, y'all.
Don't come for my sister. And matter of fact, which I need y'all to do right now is go hit that subscribe button, go hit that like button, hit that bell so you know when it's a new episode, and comment down below your favorite part of this episode. Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew. Period. All right. Thank you, Gio.
Bye, Kev. Love you.
Bye. Love you too.